Hey everyone, welcome back to Energy Rising, and this video is going to be a video if you've ever been interested in like how to do your own energy work, to move your own energy. I'm actually going to be teaching you a little technique that is pretty simple and easy to do that will help you to move your own energy. And the reason that this might be something that you want to do is that, here on this channel, I talk a lot about the ways that we have a mental body, an emotional body, a physical body, and a spiritual body. And those bodies have really become out of alignment. And when they're in alignment, that's when we really feel free. When they're really out of alignment, that's when we have things like illness and different kinds of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, or continuing patterns that we don't really understand, self-defeating kinds of behaviors, and can like overthinking, being really trapped in your mind and things like that. So there are a lot of different kinds of symptoms of that being out of alignment. But the reason that you might want to be able to do your own energy work, and this practice that we're going to do, is actually about you being able to just use your attention to move that energy, so that because what happens is that things happen and we sort of hold on to them in our energetic body and our emotional body, and it makes it hard for us to be in alignment. It's hard for those bodies to come back into alignment when we hold on to those things. They move further and further apart as we accumulate them. And this is like the best explanation that I have of what I see that happens to people. And so, this on this channel, welcome, by the way. My name is Janaea Buehler, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So I practice Western therapy. I also am a Reiki master teacher, a shamanic healer, and an astrologer. And so I use all of those different techniques in therapy and just in my energy practice to help people to find that alignment. And what I'm really passionate about is just helping people learn how to get back in touch with themselves, to move the things that are in the way of that alignment so that you can feel aligned and free again. So if that sounds good to you, we'll just kind of jump into this short little practice. And this is a practice that you can do anywhere. So I'm going to teach you this today. You can come back and listen to this video over and over again for different things, and eventually it'll just kind of hopefully become something that you'll be better able to do on your own. At first it is a little bit challenging to do it on your own. It helps to have a voice kind of asking you these questions, helping you figure out where to put your attention, because we have been kind of trained in this world for our attention to go all over the place. And that's part of what makes it really hard to be able to like heal ourselves, right? We want all of our attention on all of these other things. So for these few minutes, we're going to be calling your attention back to yourself. So the other thing that may or may not happen, we'll kind of see how this goes, is that I don't really believe in time and space, and I also do a lot of, like psychic kind of healing. And so I might actually point out things that I feel as we're doing this practice that I think might be connected to you as the person watching. So I want you just to kind of sit in a position that feels comfortable, that you feel supported but relaxed. So you could be laying down, you could be standing up, you could be sitting, whatever feels the best for you. And then go ahead and close your eyes or look down at the floor, just again, whatever feels the most comfortable. So we're going to start actually by having you take 3 really deep breaths. And so when you breathe in, I want you to breathe in as much air as you can, just breathing in the air and just filling up your lungs. Just filling them as full as you can get. You feel your chest expanding, maybe feeling your stomach expanding. And then once your lungs are all the way full to the very tip of your lungs, I want you to blow all that air out. Just letting go of all of the air that you've brought into your lungs until they feel empty. Another really deep breath in. All the way in and all the way out. And one more really deep breath in, just breathing in as much air as you can get this time. Breathing it in and all the way out. Okay, and then you can just return to breathing as normal. And I want you to call as much of your attention back as you can, just letting go of anything outside of the room that you're in, letting go of anything that you've been thinking about, just doing your best to not put your attention there. What I do want you to pay attention to is maybe the sounds in the room around you. I want you just to listen for a second to see if you notice any sounds. Be noticing the way the temperature of the air feels in the room that you're in. And then we're going to bring your attention even closer, and we're going to do a little scan through the body. Just bring as much attention as you can to the top of your head. Just feeling as much of your attention as you can get there to pay attention to the top of your head. I want you to notice any sensations that you feel, maybe tingling or vibration, maybe feeling the temperature of the air, the weight of your hair. Just really bringing as much of your attention as you can there, moving down through your forehead, noticing any tension you might be holding, down into your face, maybe noticing the way the air moves in and out of your nostrils as you breathe. Even feeling the tips of your ears, any sensations that you might feel there, moving down through your face, through your jaw. Noticing any tension that you're holding there, and we're not doing anything about this, we're just paying attention. We're just noticing it, moving down through the mouth, down through the throat and the neck. Noticing any sensations that you might have there, down into your shoulders, just feeling the weight of your arms as they hang. Feeling your chest, maybe noticing the way that it rises and falls as you breathe. Down into your back, around into your stomach, noticing any sensations that you might have in your stomach, or feelings of hunger or fullness, or any tension that you might be holding there. Moving down through your hips and your legs, down into your knees. Be noticing the way that your legs feel as they touch the surface that you're sitting on. Down through your shins and your calves, down into your feet. If your feet are on the floor, maybe noticing the way that your feet feel as they touch the floor. Now, I want you just to go back to, as we did that body scan, the place in your body where you felt the most sensation. Maybe that was at the top of your head or in your chest or your stomach. So I want you to go back to that area. So I want you to focus on that part of your body, just bringing as much attention as you can to the sensation that you felt. I want you to notice anything that you can about that sensation. Maybe noticing, does it have some kind of a temperature? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it warm? Or does it not have a temperature? And I want you to notice just any attributes that you can of this sensation. Does it feel like it's moving, or is it holding still? And if there's movement, what is that movement like? Is it a fast movement? Is it slow? Is it radiating? Is it kind of in waves? Is it moving around, jumping quickly? And notice where it moves. If it's in your chest, is it going up to your throat? If it's in your stomach, is it moving up to your chest? Just kind of noticing any movement of this sensation. And then I want you to just imagine that any like attributes that you can of that sensation. Maybe you could apply a color to it. See, does it have a color? Just being really curious about it. You don't have to force it to have a color, or it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't. So I want you to just bring as much of your attention and curiosity to this sensation as you can. And then I want you to send a little signal to it and just say, what are you trying to tell me? And we're doing this in a very curious way. Like, I want you to really be curious about what this sensation is trying to tell you. What is it trying to tell you? Notice what happens to the sensation when you ask, what are you trying to tell me? Does it get bigger, stronger? Does it go away? What happens? And then maybe noticing if any sort of images might come to you, or feelings, or sensations of any kind. And maybe just saying out loud what those are. Just saying out loud what you notice. If you're in a room of people and you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can also maybe just open your mouth and mouth the words. And then I want you to give as much of your attention as you can again to this sensation. And I want you to ask it what it is that it needs from you. Say, what do you need from me? And noticing what happens to the sensation. Does it get bigger, smaller, or less? Or heavier or lighter? Just kind of noticing what happens. And we're not having any kind of judgment about this. Just ask it, what do you need from me? And then I want you to take your right hand and I want you to imagine that you're holding whatever it needs. Maybe it needs some kind of attention. Maybe it needs love. Maybe it needs safety. Maybe it needs fed. Maybe it needs some kind of security. And I want you to imagine that in your hand you're holding whatever it is that it needs. Maybe it's inside of a bubble, inside of a ball, but you can feel that in your hand. Feeling the sensation of love or safety in your hand. And I want you to place that wherever you feel this sensation, as if you're giving it to that spot on your body. And I want you just to imagine that that bubble that was on your hand of that sensation is just going inside of that space. So you're offering it whatever it is that it needs. And I want you to notice what happens to this sensation again. Okay, and then we are going to just kind of come back to the room. I want you to notice any sounds that you might hear around you. Maybe notice the temperature of the air. And then I want you just to kind of listen to the sound of my voice. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and just kind of come back. And I want to ask you a couple of questions after that practice, and I think it's a good practice to have after doing these, to maybe write a couple of things down. So I think that things are important about this practice. What this does is, as you know, I really believe that like where your attention goes, energy flows. And so by paying attention to these things, you are actually giving them energy, and energy helps them to move. And so I want you to think about what happened when you asked, what are you trying to tell me? And there are a couple of things that could have happened for you. One is that it could have gotten less, like felt a little bit relieving, right? And that means that you're connecting with that energy and helping it to move a little bit. And all it needed was just a little bit of that energy. Also, another thing that sometimes happens for people is that it disappears. They can't find it at all. And sometimes that's a sign of just a lack of connection with yourself. And so I would encourage you to just keep practicing this. Just keep making that connection and asking, what are you trying to tell me? And see what happens. So yeah, write down like what happened to the sensation. What were the things that you maybe saw or felt? And just like considering, what do those things mean to you? And then I also want you to write a little bit about your experience of creating that sensation in your hand. And the thing about energy and why it works, like, you know, when people come in to see me, I don't have any doubt that what I'm doing is I'm taking things out of them and I'm putting other things in, right? And I know that to be very true, and people experience it while I'm doing it because I know that it is so real. And so so it's like, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to like go anywhere to find that sensation, and you don't either. And that's what I'm trying to say is like, you can create that sensation anytime that you want. Like, you carry all of the love, all of the security, all of whatever it is that you are looking for inside. And so this is a practice of being able to it sort of helps your physical body to understand that, and it also is moving things in your emotional body. And so basically what we were doing there is giving attention to that, wherever you're holding that energy, it helps it to open up and move. So maybe you felt it moving up, up through your body, and that's a good sign that it is energetically moving. And so we're giving it the attention to move that stuff out, and then filling it, that empty space, with whatever it is that that part of you is looking for. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. This is a practice that you can do anytime that you're feeling anxiety, or anytime that you're having tension in your body, or you can just make it a regular practice that you do that scan through the body and check for any of that. So just take a look at my channel for any of my other videos. I make a lot of different kind of stuff, videos on here about things that are going on astrologically, about energy work, therapeutic tools, and the ways to combine all of that to help you find healing within yourself. And so I hope that this has been helpful to you. You can find my information also on my website. It's at energyrising1111.com. And there you'll find all of the different kinds of services that I offer, any kinds of classes or retreats or courses and one-on-one sessions. So thank you for visiting.